Welcome to the nDesign webinar series. In this webinar, we're going to cover designing and ordering a new Elements panel. In a subsequent webinar, we'll cover the options available for reordering an Elements panel. The nDesign Gateway homepage contains information on the application features, links to perform specific functions, and also FAQs that can be accessed at the bottom of the page. Most importantly, it creates links to search and create order requests. Notice that the default setting is human, but nDesign is available for mouse and rat as well. If you want to work with other organisms, please contact your sales representative or sales@nanostring.com. I'm going to begin the demonstration by browsing based on the different classifications that nDesign provides. On the left-hand side here, you can view the different classifications offered. If, for example, I want to see all the genes in the JAK-STAT signaling pathway, I type the pathway in the search engine and then select the pathway. And what we can see on the right is a description of the pathway. There's a link to the KEGG page, so you can see and look at the pathway in more detail. And most importantly, there's the ability to view the genes in this pathway. So I'm now shown the 152 genes in the JAK-STAT signaling pathway. I can expand a gene by clicking on the plus in the bottom of the box, and I can see all the details of that gene. I can select all of the optimal probes for all of the genes in the list with a single click, and I can also go in and select individual probes. So as you'll see, the optimal probes are designed for standard and elements chemistry, but I want to select a few specific probes based on their locations. So for this gene, I'm going to have these 4 probes. I can clearly go into other genes and do this. I can also remove genes that I don't want to be in my set by selection. And I can close the box with the minus sign. Once I'm happy with the genes I've selected, I can then add them to my code set. Because this is the first time that I've actually created a code set, I don't have the option of adding them to an existing code set. So I'll create a new code set here. And because this code set contained elements probes, I'm only offered the choice of elements code set. If I want to create a standard code set with elements probes in it, copy the code set, as I'm going to show later on, into the Excel file and send this Excel file to your sales team saying that you'd like to get these probes as a standard code set. So we add the probes to the code set. And now you'll see that all my further probes will be added to the elements demonstration code set. Since I just demonstrated browsing by classification, I might next want to add some additional genes by searching. Search performs somewhat of a Google-like search. If you search on multiple words, such as growth hormone, you should enclose them in quotes to ensure that the exact phrase is searched for. And now what you see is that I get not only the results for the genes and the panels that contain growth hormone, but also for the pathways, gene ontologies, disease areas. So I could go to the Genes tab and select all of the optimal probes for these genes recorded. I can obviously still go in and select individual probes to add to the set. And also I'm able to click on the region and I can see the individual target sequence that's used in that probe. So once I'm happy with my selections, I can add them to my code set. And notice the running total has increased, now 169 out of the 192 I could add to the code set. Now another common method of searching is a gene list search, where I have a list of genes that I'm interested in. I can just type or copy and paste in a text list of genes and search for those genes. It's important to notice that Gene Search will return results for your terms on both the name as well as the alternate names. So GDNF3 was not in my original search, but is here because it has the alternate name of ATF2. So you need to examine your results before submitting the order requests and remove the probes as desired. And you'll also notice that CS3 is recognized as included already in your code set. So again, I can just add the optimal probes if I want, remove genes that I don't need, and also if I want to go in and add specific probes, I can do that. Once I'm happy with my selection, again, I add my selected to my probe set. So I've now compiled a code set by browsing on classifications, searching on keywords, and also adding genes from my own list. Let's say I'm happy with my code set and I want to proceed to submit my order request. So now I click on Code Set Details. This page provides me with a list of all contents for my probe set. I can do a lot of functionality from this page. I can remove a probe. I can also give a customer specific probe name. I can also take a probe and actually select an alternate probe at this point by clicking on the probe and just swapping it around. Finally, for every code set, you need to have reference genes, often commonly called housekeeping genes. If I've already included the reference genes in my code set, I can just select them by choosing the yes function. If I don't have reference genes, we have a list of common reference genes which you can select from to put to your code set. We recommend a minimum of 3 reference genes for a code set. Obviously you can add as many as you want. And once you've added the reference genes and you're happy with your code set, you're ready to proceed with your order request. So return to your code set details page and select Continue. When creating an Elements code set for the first time, this page, which we call the probe tag mapping page, is particularly important. Be sure to prioritize probes that are most likely to be reordered at the top of the probe tag mapping table, making sure these have low tag numbers. This will increase the likelihood that probes for commonly used targets can be used in multiple Elements code sets, and thus provide cost savings on future projects. You can move targets in 2 ways. You can hover over the name and select the arrow, which will move it to the top of the list, or you can drag and drop to a specific location in the list. And you'll notice when you move it, the tags are changed because this gene is now tag 1. When I'm happy with this prioritized list, it's now time to submit my order request. So I scroll down the page and select the Continue tab. I have a few different options here. The first is the prompt for new nanostring reagents. Since this is the first Elements code set order, I will probably need reagents. For subsequent reorders, you may or may not need reagents, which we'll speak to more in the Elements reordering webinar. You will also then enter the number of reactions you would like, designate if you're running a single cell experiment, as well as whether you'd like the experiment to be run as a proof of principle experiment or not. Proof of principle experiments are experiments that nanostring will run in-house for you if you're evaluating the system and have not yet purchased an Encounter system. If you want to run a POP, please contact your salesperson before ordering. After submitting your request, you'll receive a confirmation email that contains details of the quote request, the size of the set, number of reactions, the Elements tag sets and master kits needed. It also includes a Excel file that contains all the detail, and also the RLF file so those of you who've previously used nanostring are used to getting a USB with the RLF file on. Well, in this instance, the RLF file is delivered in this email. And from this email, we can return to the code set details page by clicking on the link. This brings me back to my code set details, where I can now send my order directly to IDD by clicking here. Alternatively, I can select Order Oligos and get details to order from another vendor. Please contact NanoString for additional details on ordering from an alternate vendor. For most research application, NanoString recommends ordering standard probes via this mechanism. For diagnostic or similar applications, contact NanoString for additional recommendations. Before proceeding with my order to IDT, I want to point out all the different functions and downloads available on the CodeSet details page. New CodeSet. This button allows you to copy the current CodeSet to create a new CodeSet. You can then add or remove probes as needed. This is not recommended for reorders where no changes at all are made. In the case where you're reordering the exact same CodeSet as previously, click the Reorder button. The Share button allows you to send this CodeSet to any other person that has a NanoString web login. This is helpful if you want to send the list to a collaborator or other colleague. Cancel Order, of course, cancels your order and sends the cancellation to NanoString, but not to IDT or any oligo vendor. CodeSet Details download is a spreadsheet of all the probes and associated information as displayed on this page. If you wish to order a Elements CodeSet as a standard CodeSet, this is the download that you must give to your sales representative. FASTA format exports the probe sequence information in the FASTA format, so you can use it for bioinformatics analysis outside of nDesign. While the RLF file was emailed to you with your CodeSet email confirmation, it can always be downloaded here as well. Plate details can be helpful to manage your inventory. It's a map of what probe belongs in what well of the various plates you have ordered. Finally, the Oligo Order button downloads all of the information needed to order your oligos either from a different vendor other than IDT, or if for some reason you prefer to order your oligos from IDT but outside of the nDesign integration. Now I'm going to proceed here with ordering with IDT. The first screen I get reminds me that if I want to order for diagnostic or applications requiring the highest level of sensitivity, we have additional probe recommendations and you should contact us for information on that. But if you're just doing standard research applications, you're ready to submit your order. Next, I'm prompted if I want to order only new oligos or all oligos. Because this is a first time order, I don't have any of my oligos in-house. But if this was a reorder, I might be buying only new oligos that I hadn't previously ordered. This will be covered in the reordering webinar. Additionally, IDT can pool all oligos into 2 pools for you, and I'll select that option for this training. This brings me out of nDesign and into the IDT ordering application. Any order under 24 probes will be sent in tubes, otherwise your order will be sent in plates. After confirming that my order looks good, I proceed with my purchase similar as with any other IDT purchase. Thank you for listening to this webinar. I hope it proved useful and answered some of your questions about the nDesign Gateway. If you have any general nDesign questions, please contact webrequest@nanostring.com. If you have any questions regarding the Elements orders, please contact elements@nanostring.com and also contact sales@nanostring.com for purchase of any nCounter products. Thank you very much for listening, and please visit the website for other webinars on using the nDesign Gateway. Thank you very much.